Are you struggling with loss in your life? Let God's love, comfort, and faithfulness fill your heart. You know her as Nadine on Larry's Country Diner, and she loves to make her friends laugh. But her powerful story of faith has something for everyone. Losing her father at an early age, losing a child, surviving breast cancer, and losing her husband of 48 years to COVID in 2021, Mona sees God's love, comfort, and faithfulness over it all. This is her story. This is today's Nashville. This is faith. Mona, I have been wanting you on my show for a long time. Thank you. Welcome to today's Nashville.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's nice.
Well, I'm going to start right off.
Okay.
Tell me about Nadine and how that all happened.
Okay. I come from a small town, so little country town, Lewisburg, not far from Franklin, where we live. And I was going to New Hope Community Church on Wilson Pike, and Larry Black, who was in charge of the diner, he was there, and he was good friends of ours, and we did a Valentine's banquet every year. And it ended up being more of a variety show. And I had a friend that I had she dressed up like an old lady, and I did too, and we walked in and we would roast people that were there at the banquet. And that's where it started. Larry loved it. Our preacher hated it because he thought we were going to run people off, and probably 35 families maybe, but other than that, we did a really good job. But no,
who would you
really
roast?
didn't.
Just your friends and everything?
Oh, anybody that was there. We knew enough. It was a small church, so we knew enough about everybody that we could do some things like that. And so Larry called me one day and he said, I've got this great idea for a diner show and have classic country music coming in. And he said, would you bring Nadine on for, say, 5 minutes? And I didn't even hesitate. I said, oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. Not thinking, I didn't even pray about that one, but I knew later that God was in that. But and it was just so much fun. We filmed for 14 years.
14 years.
And did 11 cruises.
I bet you were on a lot longer than 5 minutes, though.
Well, you could interact. Yeah. There was no script on the diner, which is not always the best thing, but Larry told us, he said, if you dig a hole, you dig your way out. We're not stopping tape. So we didn't stop tape. We just kept rolling. If we screwed up, we made it. But I think the fans loved that. I mean, we were, it's very real. So they could see how, thank goodness our audience was, mainly 65 to 100. So they didn't always hear us, or they didn't understand it all. So that
or just kind of went over their heads.
Yeah.
What are some of the most memorable moments on the set can you think of?
I met so many great people doing that. Joey and Rory Feek being on. I mean, we were close. We were good friends, and so I was very close to Joey. So that was a toughie. And we were in Branson doing a show every year. We did 1 week of shows, and they came there, and that was their last time to sing on stage. I cried all during the show. She came over to me and says, Mona, you've got to stop this. Just the people that I've met. I got to drive an ATV on the show and scared Keith Bilbrey to death. He was in there with me, and I don't know why they allowed me to do that, but they wanted me to do it. So, but there was a lot of good moments on the show. I just don't, there's so many.
So when you're on the set, no scripts?
No scripts, no. Mm-mm.
So how did you go ahead and make everybody laugh?
Well, I knew when I came on, I was going to have a set number of things that I would say, that I was going to say. So I had mine pretty much in my head, and Larry was really bad about getting me off topic. And so and then I would say something, I'd tell a joke, and then he would go, and I said, you know what, I can tell them to you, but I can't understand them for you. And so he, when he got me off track, which he loved to do, then I would just sort of wing it. But it seemed to work out every time. I mean, we really enjoyed it. It was more like having a family group together, so it was easy.
It was a weekly show.
It was a weekly show. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is a lot of work for 14 years. So you didn't expect it to go that long, or?
No, I told him, I said, you need to stop this pretty soon because I'm running out of material. We're going to have to repeat. But he said, I'm going to quit at 80. And when he turned 80, then that's when we stopped. And it was time. We had lost Jimmy Capps.
Yes. I had Michelle on the show.
Yeah, I love Michelle.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And when Jimmy passed away, it was, I don't know, it was just different because we'd been a family for so long. And Ben Hall came on to play the guitar, and he was wonderful. I love Ben, and that worked. But it was, I think it was time for it to stop. Even though we get a lot of fans saying, "Oh, I wish it was back on," but I think there's a time when you've got to.
You know when it's time.
Yeah.
What happened after the show ended? Where did God lead you?
Well, I really, I was sort of relieved. I'm not one that's out there looking for, got to have the applause and that kind of thing. But I go to Brentwood Baptist, and we have a seniors group there. And so I did Nadine. I do that every once in a while for them. But that's really the only thing.
Now, do you roast there?
I do.
What's a pastor?
Not too many. No. I don't roast the people there. No, I don't. I don't do that. I tell a lot about Homer's family, and some very sarcastic remarks about Homer's family and my husband, and that kind of thing. But and just little stories or whatever. A lot of it is about us as we were growing older. Since it's seniors, they all understand it. They all relate to that.
Well, does comedy come natural to you?
My brother had a great, in fact, he did some acting on TV and whatever. Not so much parents. They were pretty strict on us. But we enjoyed that. We enjoyed laughter. We didn't have a TV, so we were doing our best to find something to do. So that's what we did. We'd tell jokes and laugh and listen to music and that kind of thing.
I look back at you, and you're making a lot of people laugh. But life has been a challenge. You've really have gone through a lot of things in your life.
Yeah, several.
And we're going to talk about that. A lot of loss, a lot of challenges, and we're going to talk about your faith and how God has been pulling you through it all.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we come back.
Okay.